Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today we're going to talk about a little bit something different. I'm going to explain maybe in more detail about one of the areas that we focus on as a team, and that's called real estate planning, or I like to call it REP. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what REP is all about and how we can help you or a loved one through the process if they feel that they need it. So, what is real estate planning? Okay, so I kind of think the best way to describe real estate planning is to give you an example, to drive you through an example of one of our key components, and that's called senior relocation expert or senior relocation expertise. Okay. And so let me explain. So you know it's time to engage us directly or to engage us for a family member, typically, a mother or maybe even a grandparent. Okay. When these questions start coming up and you start wondering about some of these ideas. So, are you concerned about providing care for a loved one? So I can't tell you how over the last, I want to say 3 years, how many couples we've helped where one of the two is falling into the stages of Alzheimer's or dementia. Okay. So, how do I care for that loved one? I'm talking from both a location and living point of view, and even potentially financially. If you're wondering if you have enough money to pay for long-term care, which kind of goes back to that first one a little bit, but not but not like 100%. You start wondering, or you start talking maybe to your daughter or granddaughter or grandson, whatever, about maybe my house has too many steps. Okay. Maybe a simple sort of conversation or offhanded comment, but nevertheless, it is a concern. Does my house have too many steps? Is my house too big right now? Considering the fact that the kids are all gone. Okay, so the kids have gone, through college or whatever. They're out on their own, hopefully establishing a life of their own, maybe married with, kids of their own, so, they ain't coming back. Okay. And so now that we recognize that and we come to that realization, maybe my home is too big. Maybe my home is too big for us or me. Okay. And has my yard or my home become too much to maintain? So we all know whether we're in 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, there's a lot of maintenance that's required a lot of maintenance required to maintain a house and a yard. Okay. It's not just, yeah, maybe you got a landscaper and yeah, maybe you got someone who comes in and cleans once a week or something like that. But there's still a lot of maintenance that's involved. Okay. There's there's taking care of, cracks in the wall or maybe the foundation, or painting, doing painting through because of peeling paint and that kind of stuff. So is my yard and or my house become sort of too much to maintain? Okay. Now let's get into sort of a specific example. Let's pick the one for example of is your home too big now that the kids are gone? And before we get into that, hey, I'd like to give our own self-serving commercial. If you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be youtube.com/at moving to Dallas, Texas. You'll be updated and alerted when we have the new content that's available. You can also go back and review and actually capture past vlogs that we've done. and take a look at them. So this one, for example, hey, maybe in a couple of weeks or a month or a year, you said, hey, was there this vlog that Steve did, and you can go back and check it out and review it and see if any of those the questions that I just brought up, or questions that are kind of swirling around your life and your parents or grandparents' life, and review the vlog. Um, Hey, when it comes down to it, we really appreciate you, and we thank you for doing that. It's no cost, and you become, the smartest person in your neighborhood. So let's get on. So you've said, hey, is my house now too big now that the kids are gone? And then you start asking questions like, where do I go? What do I do? What am I going to do with all my stuff? I got all this stuff that I've collected over, decades and decades or half a century of life. What am I going to do with all this stuff? Who will help me? Who will help me with all of these things that have to happen? Moving, disposing of my stuff, packing up my stuff. Who can help me make a plan? Okay. Who will help me declutter? So yeah, maybe I think I have to sell my house, or I want to move on to something bigger or smaller or what have you. But who's gonna help me declutter? Who's gonna help me, take pictures off the wall, or take the tchotchkes and the nicks and knickknacks off the shelf, and wrap them and protect them? Will my house sell better if it's vacant or has furniture in it? Okay. Who's going to help me decide that? And then who can help me move? I mean, how do I move? I've lived here for 30 years or 40 years, and my husband always handled that. And how do I handle that on my own? Now that I'm by myself, or now that we're older, we're 30 years or 40 years or 50 years older than when we moved into this house. Who's going to help me move? So what we basically do is we go through several of these conversations. We call them consultative conversations because it's two-way. It's us asking a lot of questions. And we try to understand your position and the questions that you have. What we try to do, I mean, what our ultimate goal is to take the stress out of your decisions. Okay. Again, some of these decisions are senior living options. Okay. We can help you decide that. I mean, we've literally met and spoken to the directors or head salespeople, or whatever the title has to be, at almost every facility in North Texas. Okay. And we have a relationship with them. And so we understand that if you feel like, well, geez, a single family house would be good for me right now. Hey, we know the folks at Robeson, we know the folks at Ladera, we know the people up at Frisco Lakes. If you feel like, gee, it'd be like more of apartment, condo, townhouse type of thing, because I don't want to deal with the yard. Hey, we know those people, at Watermere and up in we know the people at Watermere in Flower Mound in South Lake, and also up in the Frisco Plano area. Preparing your home. So now that we've kind of all decided, what the best place for you is, or at least the best style of place, we want to prepare your home for sale, right? And that'll then allow you to understand what you can keep and what you're going to have to get rid of. So if you're coming from let's say a 4 or 5 thousand square foot house, and it's like 10 or 12 or 15 rooms, and now you're going into, let's say, a two-bedroom townhouse up in Allen. Well, you're not going to need all that furniture, right? And so we'll help you understand what you're going to need to keep and what you're going to need to sell, or what you may give away to your children, or grandchildren or neighbors, or that type of thing, right? Is downsizing an option? We can guide you. So we just kind of described downsizing, but we can guide you through that process about trying to understand about what you should and shouldn't keep, and then what would potentially go in each room. So let's face it, if you're moving into a place like, if you're coming from a 5 bedroom, 4,000 square foot house and you're moving into Watermere in South Lake, you don't need the lawnmower anymore, right? And the wheelbarrow and the gardening tools and those kinds of things, right? So we can understand what the process is and what you're going to need to keep, and what you're going to need to sell or get rid of. And again, we can help with that. And selling your home. So look, we know that buying and selling real estate is very stressful. And one of our goals is to make it a stress-free environment. Believe it or not, I think this year alone we've had four couples who've decided who came and we provided this type of service to them, and they literally just threw us the keys and said, "Take please take care of it. We can't handle it anymore. You take care of it." And we went through the process. We put our project management team into it, and they took care of the moving, the decluttering, and then at the aftermath of some painting and some repairs. All at the number one, all at the request, and all at the approval of the homeowner. And we manage that for them. So it's as we make it try to make it as stress-free an environment as possible. So at the end of the day, what our methodology and our certifications help do is eliminate family disputes. Now, people don't quite get that, and the family disputes kind of gets more makes more sense, if you will, when you have multiple properties. Maybe you have some investment properties, but there's always, unfortunately, when the senior person is gonna downsize and start to downsize and get rid of some of their possessions and that kind of stuff. Um, family disputes and squabbles often happen, and what we attempt to do is eliminate those disputes, so it's not a nasty, kind of situation. It's all done with love, and the family remains intact. We help to minimize capital gains. We can talk about that at another time. We move that property burden from the homeowner, or burden of properties. How's that? That's also another way to put it. If you have multiple properties, from the owner, so that they don't have to worry about maintaining, multiple properties. We kind of divvy it out amongst the children, but the senior homeowner still remains in control of the properties. We help build and transfer wealth, which kind of goes along that, and we help create a life that you desire and deserve, frankly, at this point in your life, so that you're not just waiting to the end. But you're having a phenomenal life, as much as we can. And then finally, the question is, well, why don't other teams or agents do something like this? Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? There's an extensive certification process, significant background checks, and there's a lot of infrastructure on our part that we have to develop and put together in order to support, that client, to support that senior person, in these endeavors. Agents don't understand the importance of what a lot of agents are interested in is listing a home, throwing their sign out front, and then being done with it. We understand that it's deeper than that. That number one, it's your home is personal to you, and then the outcome at the end of the sale is basically deterministic of basically the rest of your life, right? Whether it's in a single family home, or it's assisted living, or it's a memory care or something like that. It's all real important for that homeowner who's taken that next step. they don't know where to start. And we've been trained and certified on where to start with our clients. And so we have a step-by-step walkthrough process so that um, so that a client, understands what's going to happen. Our client and their offspring, I'm going to say too, we bring them into the mix. It's not done in a vacuum, so that everybody understands the process and what's going to happen. They don't know how to approach it. It's a delicate situation. You don't just go in there, with a like a bull in a china shop. It's a delicate situation to handle. And finally, some of them like just don't care. They want to get a listing. They want to get a sale, and that's their main goal. Where our main goal is to help people to make sure that they're comfortable and to going into that next stage or that next living environment, whatever it is. And we care deeply about what happens to them and what those next steps look like. So I hope that kind of explained a little bit about our real estate planning segment of our business. If you need more, please. This is an important topic. Okay, I mean, how many, what is it? Something like 15,000 baby boomers retire every day, and it's just a tidal wave of what's going on. And so we're here to help. And if you have any questions, there's just numerous ways to get in contact with me. Give me a call. Give Rose a call. She's obviously our team lead and the leader of this movement, real estate planning, for our team. And so if you've got any questions, just please reach out. We're delighted to have a 30 to 60-minute conversation with you about it. Having said that, next week is like one of my favorite weeks of the whole year. My vlog next week is Thanksgiving fun facts. Now, this is really exciting because it kicks off sort of the holiday season. I think from the scary thing is that after Thanksgiving fun facts, I think we only have like 6 weeks or 5 weeks left in the 6 weeks, I guess, left in the year. 6 weeks, 6 weeks left in the year. My goodness, where did it go? Um, so Thanksgiving fun facts followed in a couple of weeks by Christmas fun facts and then New Year's fun facts. And then we went to 2025. My goodness. Oh, wow. Anyway, hey, stay tuned for that. This is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. So long.